Swamini Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhya sacha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So what a topic they've given me, Vaishnav Seva. So when I see all you youngsters here, you're doing so much Vaishnava Seva already. So when I walked in, I did some preparation yesterday. But then when I walked in, I see your faces, I think you all are more qualified to give the class than I am. So I think my pitch is over, you all take over. So anyway, I want to ask you all one question. What is the most powerful thing in the world? Shout out something, no? Love. Love, okay. Love of God, wow. Anybody else? Just shout out, let's make it interactive. Power. So there's one song, actually, old song, in our college days we used to have one song, The Power of Love. It's a beautiful song, okay. Okay, so love, power, what else? What's the most powerful thing in the world? Sorry? Change. Okay. Time. Sorry? Trust. Lust. Okay. So the most powerful thing in the world, okay, you all can verify the Shastric evidence later. This is what I heard, and I really strongly believe in this. If you want really, to be successful in your spiritual life, the most powerful thing in the world is blessings. From that you can overcome lust. From that you can develop love. Somebody wanted power, no? Power, okay. So with blessings, you wouldn't want power in that sense, but so blessing is the strongest thing in the world. Nothing more powerful than blessings. So when this temple was getting inaugurated and the governor came and somebody said, blessings come down, temple goes up. So, we think it's our endeavor, our effort, all that stuff. But it's just blessing. Our whole movement is based on blessing. The fundamental principle of our movement. So before I move on, first I take the blessing of His Grace, Bhakti Vinod Prabhu. He's my very dear mentor, my coach, and senior most person. He met Srila Prabhupada, so without his blessing, I cannot move on. Please bless, and all of you also please bless me, because this topic of Vaishnav Seva, not only I want to speak and share something with you, but I want to implement in my life. No point giving one nice sounding lecture, but I need to live that, on a day-to-day basis. So seeking everyone's blessings so that I can deliver something of value to you all, which you all take home, and it becomes deeply ingrained in my heart also. So there's a story of Srila Prabhupada in the early days of the movement. So there was a couple, disciples of Prabhupada, who unfortunately they were doing something to do with drugs before they came into contact with Prabhupada. And then they were sentenced to jail. And they came to say bye to Prabhupada. So told Prabhupada, we have to go to jail. He said, for what? He said, we were dealing in drugs. So Prabhupada said, I was dealing in drugs because he was a chemist earlier. He was dealing in some medicines. And then Prabhupada said, oh, jail. Even Krishna was born in jail. And they said, Prabhupada, we have to go for 5 years. And they went to jail, actually. They were sentenced to jail. And they had come into contact with Prabhupada. They were initiated and they turned vegetarians. I think they were Americans or Britishers, I'm not sure. Americans maybe. And then in jail, they were serving meat. And the Mataji was pregnant. at that time. So she refused to eat. You know, prisons can be very nasty places. So she refused to eat. And then one of the wardens in the jail, he calls her, come. And she's praying fervently in her heart, you know. And she goes there and she's saying, I'll not eat. He calls her, then he gives her a bowl of fruit in the jail. And she has the fruit. So what happens is, in about, her husband is in a separate place, she's in a separate place. After a month or so, they call her in 1 month. It's a 5-year term. In 1 month they call her, and on good behavior, some grounds, some miracle of the Lord, they tell her, we are releasing you. So she goes back to Prabhupada. And her husband is also released on the same day. Sorry, I may get a bit emotional when I hear this, So they go back to Prabhupada. And he said, Prabhupada, we are back. Like they said 5 years, but they made it 1 month. And Prabhupada, he replies, he says, just this morning, I was thinking, 5 years is too long. 5 years is too long. Prabhupada is thinking that. So just the thought of a pure devotee, 5 years is too long, and they are released, from jail. So the blessings of devotees are really, really powerful. Many of us want to do so many services in ISKCON, so many things which are way beyond our capacity. Like there are instances when Prabhupada told somebody in a train, you get off here, go open a temple. And they did that with faith in Prabhupada, they went and did that. But a very important point here is Prabhupada never said, I am giving you blessings and now everything will happen. There were many, many instances when his disciples were, let's say, embarking on something new, where Prabhupada said, he used to tell all the assembled devotees there, all his disciples, please bless so and so. He knows that I'm the one who's blessing, I'm the boss. He told everyone, please bless him. So that's the power of Vaishnava blessings. Similarly, a couple of weeks back we had Paniyati festival, where Lord Nityananda blesses Raghunath Das Goswami. Again, with all the assembled Vaishnavas, Lord Nityananda is Lord Nityananda. His blessing is more than enough. But he tells Raghunath Das Goswami, and he tells all the devotees there, please bless Raghunath. He wants to go meet Lord Chaitanya. Please bless him. Okay, so you can see the Vaishnava culture is taking everyone's blessings. It's not only Prabhupada, not only my guru, not only my senior. It's taking everyone's blessings. That's really, really important, and it will work magic. It works like magic in your lives, So early on, I'll ask you this question. You heard this statement, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Is there any difference between these statements? Madhusudan? Why they say like this? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. It's a little strange. Anybody knows why this is there? See, in Krishna consciousness, there are do's and don'ts. So if you do certain things, you will remember Krishna. And if you do certain things, you'll forget Krishna. So that is why the do's and don'ts. So don't do those things and then you won't forget Krishna. So do's and don'ts. So likewise, seeking Vaishnava blessings, there's a flip side. Vaishnava Aprad. You do Vaishnava Aprad, it's like a short circuit. Okay. And you do Vaishnava Seva, you go up. So early on, when my wife and me had come into Hare Krishna, and the thing is, when you just join, they give you what my Guru Maharaj calls a bhakta boost. You're really thrilled, you come and wow, like this is fantastic. There's kirtan, and you dance in the kirtan. And you're having prasadam here, wow, this is awesome. Every part of Krishna consciousness is so beautiful. Krishna gives a special taste at that time. Bhakta Boost, it's called. One inaugural discount offer. Then the more senior you get, the tougher it gets. Then it's like you're going cycling like this, and then suddenly, oops, you have to cycle upwards like this. It'll get very easy with blessings. But the opportunity for criticizing others, the opportunity for Vaishnava Aparadha becomes more. And especially when you become senior, I'm not saying advanced, I'm saying senior. When you become senior, then along with whatever practice of bhakti we have, what also grows beautifully, very nicely, is our false ego. Correct? So now I'm a senior guy. I'm here 10 years, 15 years, whatever you may, and then you've got about 10 people whom you're supposed to take care of. And then they're not behaving as respectfully as you would want them to behave, Then you say, hey, I'm a senior guy. Okay? So when you become senior, then it's a real challenge to stay in the mood of service. So when this Bhakti Vriksha program was launched in Bangalore, and now modern management gurus are using the same word. So we had a word for every Bhakti Vriksha leader called Bhakta Dasa. Bhakta Das, that means he's a servant of the devotees. And now in modern management, I don't know since when, they're using this word called servant leader. You must have heard. No, everybody is a servant leader, so he's in the mood of service. So like I was saying, in the early days when we just joined, there was a Mataji called Srimati Mataji. She stays in Vrindavan now. Very advanced Mataji. And she told us one simple thing which, my wife and me tried to take to heart. I'm still a work in progress. So she said one simple thing. If you appreciate devotees, you're going to make advancement. You criticize devotees, you're going to go down. The choice is yours. And the first test came. There were some devotees in our congregation. They had a meeting. They invited me for the meeting. Okay, they invited for the meeting, and they had a lot of issues with the management at Hare Krishna Hill. Those guys hadn't yet become Ritvik. They were in good standing and everything. And so they called and they said, this is not okay, that's not okay, the price of this sale of this is not okay. So many things were there, And then I repeated this, what Srimati Mataji said. I said, see, if you criticize devotees, you will go down. If you appreciate devotees, you will go up. So after that, they never invited me for any more meetings after that, So this appreciation of devotees is vital, very, very important. So one can be, the example is given, so one can be like a honeybee. Honeybee goes everywhere and just looks for honey. Or one can be like a housefly and seek out the dirt. Correct. So in this context, once Satswarup Maharaj, he went to the Calcutta temple. And the Calcutta temple kitchen was quite dirty. Yeah, so he saw it dirty. And when he told Prabhupada, kitchen is very dirty. So what do you think Prabhupada said? Yeah? It's very, very tough. Prabhupada said, mind your own business. Yeah. Because it was not his service. It was not his service. But Prabhupada knows how he's dealing with each person. Okay. So those were his words for him. So, of course, we cannot imitate, and we take feedback and stuff like that. We take a lot of feedback. But it's a lesson that unnecessarily we criticize, And the longer we get in the movement, I've seen people become very easy. In our grooming, there has to be like, Vaishnav Aparadha was like, I used to always imagine this, you have this transformers which have this skull and crossbones like that. Danger, 440 volts. So for us, we lived our lives initially like, wow, this is dangerous, don't criticize anybody. So for us, it was really dangerous. You don't play with fire. But as years went by, and there's something I've noticed, that a lot of people become lax with this criticism. They become a little easygoing. Okay, TK. And I've seen people criticize even sannyasis. Oh, that sannyasi. Oh, yeah, he's all right. His preaching style is a little different. Oh, yeah, he's okay. Yeah, so it starts somewhere, and it just goes on. And you see, those roots of criticism actually come from envy. And envy, I live my life with the assumption that there's a lot of envy, and there is. Okay, with the practice of bhakti, we see that diminishing. But at many times I used to, and they say one of the best things, the cure for envy, is which pastime of the Lord destroys envy? Huh? Sorry? Not Govardhan Lila. Kaliya. The Kaliya. So sometimes I have to, think, Papa, I'm feeling I'm such an envious person. And how do I get rid of the envy? Then I came across Kaliya pastime. Then at one point I said I should read Kaliya pastime every day. Okay, every day I should read Kaliya pastime. There was so much envy in my heart. And so envy, we have to deal with that. See, the point is we don't brush it under the carpet. We have to be very honest with ourselves when we experience this. Okay, when we experience, there will be, it may come, some feeling of envy may come. If it comes, you don't deny it, because the first solution is to recognize the problem. So if you just, no, I'm not an envious person. Oh, Prabhu, fantastic, Prabhu, you did really good, your service is amazing. We may say something like that, but in case in our heart we are feeling envy, we have to keep looking into our hearts. What is there in our heart? So if we feel this slight, so actually it's good to have a close friend in Krishna consciousness, somebody you can confide in. So my wife and me play that role, of buddies. So sometimes I tell her, hey, I'm feeling like this. And then she'll say, ooh, I'm feeling like this. So then at least sometimes we laugh about it also. We crack a joke about it or something. But so recognize the problem. And the solution to that again is, pray. You keep praying to the Lord, See, one comes into contact with Krishna and devotees. And there's a beautiful sentence on this. Sorry, Prabhu, I'm making you feel sleepy. Thank you. So they say, by the mercy of Krishna, you get guru, you get devotees. By the mercy of Krishna. Some causeless mercy somewhere, then you meet devotees. And then by the mercy of the devotees, the mercy of the guru, then you get Krishna. Like we discussed at the Paniyati festival, that Krishna belongs to his devotees. And Narottam Das Thakur says this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, without the mercy of devotees, he doesn't say only one devotee, only your Guru Maharaj, nothing. Without the mercy of devotees, you will never be able, one will never be able to overcome the illusory energy. It's extremely, extremely powerful. Cannot take for granted. And our only hope is Vaishnav mercy. So Vaishnav Seva from the heart. I really like it in the Mangalarti, you all read out from the book, Namamrita. So there's fabulous wisdom there. Sometimes I cannot hear, so I come up in front to hear if somebody is speaking softly. So every sentence which they speak in that Harinamamrita is beautiful, amazing. So there's one sentence a few days back, about 2-3 days back, somebody was reading out that quality of feelings. Anybody remembers that? So Prabhupada is speaking that our chanting, there should be quality of feelings. So our interaction with devotees, we have to analyze for ourselves what is the quality of our feelings. What is the quality of our feelings? Forget about Vaishnava Prad. It's said in the scripture that what should be our emotion, what should be our feeling when we see a devotee? What should be? Huh? Yeah, we should feel joyful when we say, hey, Hari Bol, Prabhu, wow, I'm seeing you. So we should actually be joyful. Now, we all have different conditionings. Okay, we've all grown up differently, different family backgrounds, different experiences in life. So some people may have had, rough emotional experiences in the early days. So then they're not able to express, love or affection or, so many things. And the whole process of bhakti creates this huge transformation in the heart. The process itself is so powerful. The process of chanting, of reading Prabhupada's books, So that whole process is so powerful that it will transform our heart. So at every step, as we want to progress further and further, we grab the opportunity. Hungry. We should be hungry for Vaishnav Seva. So I remember in the old days once, we heard something on this. And breakfast prasadam, everybody's out trying to grab a spoon to serve. And then we realized, hey, there are more devotees who want to serve than devotees who want to take prasadam. So we have to say, hey, okay, some of you all sit down, So I'm saying we should grab this opportunity of service. So the whole time we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna, give me service. So I joke with one devotee because every time he says, I want service, and you tell him something, he's like, no, but today I got to go somewhere. I can't do it, So be hungry and as much as possible do some service to the Vaishnavas with a quality of nice feelings. And we have to create that. See, our mind is our mind at the end of the day. And there may be so many nasty things going on. But we pray to the Lord for strength and to help create this attitude of service to Vaishnavas. A few days back I was just thinking that this attitude of blessing, the attitude of having a regard for a Vaishnava in our heart, just that having that attitude, it's a blessing from the Lord. So we should keep seeking that. We should ask the Lord, please bless me so that I have regard for devotees, because that is your key to Vaikuntha, to Goloka. Otherwise you're not going to make it. That's the key. So there's a story my wife related in the morning. I told her I have to give this class on Vaishnav Seva. So she related this story. And so I want to give her credit. I want to give credit to Uttam Damodar Prabhu, because she said she heard it from him. So she said in Kanchipuram there is a Varadaraj temple. Correct? So in that temple there was a very elevated devotee who could speak to Varadaraj. He could actually, he could speak to him and have a conversation with God. So there's some bhakta comes and he asks this head pujari that, can you ask Varadaraj if I'll go back to Godhead at the end of this lifetime? He says, okay, I'll ask him. He asks him and Varadaraj says, yes, he'll come back to Godhead end of this lifetime. And the devotee is very happy and he goes. Then the head pujari thinks, hey, he's going back to Godhead, what about me? Then he asks Varadaraj again, what about me? He says, you, I'm not so sure. You, I'm not so sure. He says, I'm serving you day and night. And you're saying, you're not sure. The whole day I'm serving you, Lord. And here you're saying, he'll come back and I may not come back. He says, yeah, there's a difference. He says, he's serving Vaishnavas. You're serving me. For me, service to Vaishnavas is very, very dear. So that day, this head pujari is a very elevated devotee. He hands over charge to his assistant. He says, hey, you handle this, I'm going. Now he was a very well-known personality, very famous personality. So he couldn't go out and try to do service to Vaishnavas. So then he should disguise himself and go serve Vaishnavas. Then one day somebody recognizes him and tells him, hey, what are you doing here? Come back, come back. And they take him back to the temple and they reinstate him as pujari. And then he asks Varadaraj, like, now, do I have any hope? And he says, yeah, now you will come back at the end of this lifetime. So that's the power of Vaishnav Seva. I want to share some also practical tips, so that some practical tips as to what can work. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki Jai, Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Okay, so one thing is the duty of a grihastha. So there are so many duties of a grihastha, and Nitai Sevani Mataji says it's so exhaustive, the list. See, when brahmachari hears, he wouldn't want to become a grihastha. Okay, so one Prabhupada disciple told us, first of all, grihastha's duty is to, feed anybody who is hungry around his house. And it seems before you start your lunch, a grihastha should open the door, look outside and say, anybody hungry out here? Anybody hungry? And then before he feeds them, then he has his prasadam, He has to feed even the animals in his house. It's a real difficult thing to do. He says you should feed the rats in your house. If there are rats, you feed them also. So the duty of a grihastha is to feed. And then the best thing they can do is invite Vaishnavas home and feed them. That's one thing which is, extremely, powerful. With great love and affection, okay? So in our interaction with devotees, many times what happens that, we may be really nice, but somebody else may be really rude. It happens, no? Actually, the whole Hare Krishna movement, there is no difficulty. Prabhupada says, now what is the difficulty? There's a book, what is the difficulty? There's no difficulty. The only thing challenging is to get along with devotees. That's the most challenging part. So you may be very, nice, being nice with him, and somebody may be extremely rude. So how do you deal with that? So basically, our dealing with Vaishnavas should be full of love and respect, not expecting anything in return. That's what the Trinadapi Sunichana verse is all about. Giving all respect, not expecting anything in return. So there is this old quotation, in Hindi they says, Neki kar, anybody's heard this? Neki kar, darya mein dal. Okay. So do good, and somebody's translated this in English and put it up on Facebook. Then I shared that, Do good and put it into the ocean. So you do your stuff. Because what happens is you will evolve as a person. Whether that person reciprocates or doesn't reciprocate, it's a challenge. But you have to realize that if you're able to serve somebody, you should be thankful he's given you the opportunity to serve. And whether he reciprocates or not, you have evolved as a person. You become a gentler devotee. So he's helped you in your Krishna consciousness. So don't expect anything in return. Like I was saying, our challenge is to get along with devotees. Now it's a Sankirtan movement. We are all heading in the same direction, right? So there was one devotee friend of mine. He doesn't come anymore. He got, to use the ISKCON word, fried. Correct? Fried is the word, no? Fried. Oh, you heard of the word fried or no? He's got fried. No, fried. ISKCON, the word is terminology. Huh? Yeah, these days. Oh, Gen Z says burnt, is it? So in earlier days, he's got fried. First time when I came to ISKCON, what is the fried? What is the word fried? So they say, this so-and-so got fried. So he got fried. So this guy got fried, and some 10, 15 years he's not turned up, So then I used to think of some analogy, some example in my mind as a piece of advice to devotees, how not to get fried. Okay. So I used to say that we are all going on the same road. Okay. So somebody is traveling in a big truck, big devotee, doing some big seva, traveling in a truck. And somebody is going on a poor bicycle bus. Slowly he's going like this. The truck is coming close to the bicycle and almost pushing him off the road. Yeah. Correct? So you need to realize that everybody is on the same path trying to go back to Godhead. So some are heavyweights, some are lightweights, some are poor man on cycle. You have to find your own space. So you have to be tactful to stay blissful. So sometimes then you have to maybe avoid some situations, avoid your Vaishnava path for sure, and you're on a little cycle, Baba. Don't get run over. So just stay away. That was one example I could think about. I attended one seminar recently. It was very interesting. This was not done by a devotee. It was basically on the mind. So, very interesting point that coach made. He said, they use the word complete. He used the word complete. So he was saying in all your relationships, you should be complete. There shouldn't be like anything hanging in the air, some animosity in the heart. He said with every single person, it's a tall order. So with every single person, he said, your relationships should be complete, or you complete them. You put an end to it, whatever it is. So I realized this, that our relationships with devotees sometimes, there is some little animosity in our heart. There's not joy when we see them. We say, oops, again, this guy. Oh, he's like this only. We hear this also. No, oh, he is like this. Sorry, I'm also a victim to that. I also sometimes say that, oh, he won't change. It's a wrong thing to say. So the solution for that, again, is in our hearts, we shouldn't carry any animosity. What's the Sanskrit word for animosity? Dvesha, is it? Huh? Sorry? So in our hearts, we have to analyze, is it completely cleaned up towards every devotee? Is it, are you completely cleaned up? Or there's some ill will, some bad feeling lurking in your heart. If it is there, we need to get rid of it, because then your heart can be completely freed. You can free up the space for love of Krishna. So that's a self-analysis. Like Krishna consciousness And especially a topic of, humility is something where we have to keep introspecting on a regular level. If there is some animosity, we need to deal with that. If you are not able to deal with it because sometimes it's not going out of the mind, then you need to take help from somebody else who will give you a different paradigm on it. So like one Prabhupada disciple said, that if somebody is frying you, he says if you go in the outside world, anyway you're going to get fried. The outside world is going to fry you big time. So if some devotee is frying you, he's a Vaishnava, a lot of your karma is getting burnt. So sometimes, somebody is, seemingly harsh with you. So he says a lot of your karma is getting burnt. Take it as your purification. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody has any question or query? Yeah. Sorry? So, if somebody is harsh, you keep distance from that devotee or from everybody else? Huh? From everybody, is it? So, see, we in our many years now, we've been through many situations which are unfavorable. So, like I said, with intelligence, you have to find your place. So, you may find some like-minded devotees to hang out with, and somebody you feel is things are not working out. It's good to keep a respectful distance. So, senior Vaishnava, we consulted him. So, once Dayana Prabhu said, then you keep a respectful distance. Don't commit offenses. Then you keep a respectful distance. But don't keep a respectful distance from the temple and everybody. Don't do that. That's dangerous. Because alone, nothing is going to work. So you have to find, see, ISKCON is a huge this thing. So you need to find some like-minded people. And if you have a problem, this is one thing which sometimes a devotee feels, I have this problem with this person. Then 10 days later, he has a problem with another person. 15 days later, he has a problem with the yatra. Then he moves to another yatra. Then he has a problem in the yatra, the other next yatra. He moves to a third yatra, he has a problem there. So then, so I told somebody once, so what's the common factor? What's the common factor? So maybe the person himself needs coaching. He needs some mentorship. Because maybe everywhere he has a problem. With everyone he's got a problem. And he's saying he's a victim and everybody else is wrong. So he's only right. So there could be, because we can't see our own, it's very difficult to see our own flaws. So His Holiness Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj, I was hearing one class was a few days back. Very nice class. And he was saying, I'm going to scan your mind. And he had one volunteer to come on stage. I wish I had those questions. I could have repeated it here. So he asked the devotee that who is scanning his mind. So he asked him a question. Tell me, do you see a glass generally, do you see a glass half full or half empty? You can see a glass as half full or half empty. Maharaj is asking. And then this Prabhu is saying, Maharaj, sometimes I see it half full, sometimes half empty. So like I said, our conditioning is so strong. There are people who are chronic complainers. They'll have a complaint about everything. Correct. So there are a person who will see the negative in everything. Yeah, but this is not good. This is not. It's a matter of their conditioning. But the point is, we want to be like a honeybee, seeking out the honey. We don't want to be like the housefly, seeking out the dirt. Because we want our own advancement. So therefore, we have to train our mind to see the good. And like you said, sometimes we may have to be tactful to stay a little away from maybe one person. But if it's too many people, then maybe you got to check out if you are the problem. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when a couple of devotees had some fight with each other. What's the time? Okay. So a couple of devotees had a fight with each other, and he used to call them. You have heard of this? Some of you have heard of this? You heard what he used to do? Yeah. So to make them stand in front of each other and say, okay, now you glorify him. So already the guy is in anger like this. Yeah, he's done this, he's done that. Glorify him. Is any good in him? Can't see any good in him at all. No good. He's blah, blah, blah. Try again. Is there any good in him? Okay, his kirtan's not bad. Okay. But any more good in him, make a list. Okay, his cooking also is not bad. So, see, Krishna consciousness, we have to deal with our mind. We have to protect our Krishna consciousness. So it's our job. Nobody, in fact, you're not alone. I mean, you have the whole movement supporting you. But certain practices, it is your responsibility. If you have a problem, you need to really figure it out so that your Krishna consciousness is absolutely blissful. So then if you need to take a paper and pen, somebody is frying you out, then you may take a paper and pen and blah, 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 blah. You try to write down his good points. Do some service. That is another fabulous thing. If you're feeling some animosity towards anyone, do some service for that person. That's very powerful. I've actually tried it. I've actually tried it. I was feeling something towards one devotee. Then without his knowledge, I did some service, And he didn't come to know also. I did something without his knowledge. So it's not meant for me to get glorified. It's not meant with an obvious thing that he knows, says, this guy is so nice, see how he's serving me. Nothing. I did something where he didn't realize also I did it. But in my heart, I was feeling so much lighter and happy. See, this Vaishnav Seva and avoiding aparadh, like you should try it. If one makes it a point that I'm not going to criticize anybody and I'm going to focus on their good points and I'm going to do service to devotees, that person's state of mind is completely different. You will develop you have to cultivate these habits because old conditioning may be there, but you cultivate this and you'll be so happy. All the time you'll be happy. People will wonder, why is this guy so happy? See, we are the custodians of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda's love. Because compassion and mercy. Okay, Lord Chaitanya has given us, it's out of so much compassion and love. He's given, and all devotees are custodians of that. And what does Lord Chaitanya say? That I am a gardener. Correct? What do you say? I'm a gardener. I'm a mali. But I can't distribute all the fruit. Right? What do you say, Prabhu? Yeah. So Lord Chaitanya, actually if Lord Chaitanya wants to distribute to everybody, he can do it on his own. He doesn't need anybody. But it's for our purification. Okay, so he says, I'm a mali, I've got two hands, like Prabhu is saying, and distribute this fruit. So this fruit of mercy and compassion, it's our job to distribute it to everyone. And while distributing it, we have to be extremely intelligent, we have to be extremely gentle. Confirmed? We are salespeople. We are salespeople. Many years back I read a book called, I was into sales, I want to sell this stuff, sell that stuff. So this book was called The Greatest Salesman in the World. And wow, greatest salesman in the world. This book is for me. So I went and bought that book. So it was a very beautiful book. The learnings there were extremely, of course it's mixed with sales. But what he was speaking about, eventually the book ends with the philosophy, the teachings of Jesus Christ. And the author is saying, and I took a parallel from that for our movement. So the author is saying, he meets somebody in that story, and he says, even the teachings of the Lord have to be sold to people. That's why we are choosing you. Because you're good. He's a successful person who's been successful. He's done a lot of sales. So he says, the teachings of the Lord also have to be sold to people. And we are choosing you to teach this to other people. So actually we call it the marketplace of Harinam. Namahatta. So it has to be sold to people. So it is Prabhupada was very innovative and creative. At one time, Prabhupada's traveling somewhere and there's a deserted church, and Prabhupada goes there and says, we should buy this church. And then Prabhupada says, don't take out the seats. They have the seats, the benches, don't take it out. Let people come sit on these benches. I'm not sure what happened eventually. Somebody said they bought the church, but they pulled out everything and made it like a temple. Prabhupada said, don't take it out. It's okay, let people come and sit. So within ISKCON, we have some people who are extremely orthodox. We were trained in a very orthodox way, okay? Like I could never speak like this because we were told in our grooming, you speak Prabhupada's books, nothing else. Okay, that was our temple authorities were like, you don't try to speak anything else. Then one devotee was a little thinker, independent thinker. He said, hey, don't follow that. In the congregation, he said, hey, don't follow that. You have to give your realizations. Otherwise what? Crazy? What are you doing? You should have your realizations. So, one has to be very creative. So I'm saying, like in ISKCON, we have very orthodox people and unorthodox people. So there are some Maharajas. Actually, there's a whole realm now which ISKCON is recognizing of something called bridge preaching. Bridge preaching, where people are reaching out to newcomers, to business people, to CEOs. So the presentation has to be modified. We are not diluting, there's no dilution, but it has to be made palatable. You have to give the medicine in palatable doses. Okay. So we have to reach out that way. See, Prabhupada made this statement, if you see ISKCON World, the old ISKCON World, you all have seen that? The ISKCON World. Beautiful video. We should play it for you all one of these days here in the temple. Have you watched it? Then there was an ISKCON World 2. No? Oh my God, it's amazing. It's a television presentation where the presenter is saying, these Hare Krishnas, you must have seen them on the street, in America, they're all over the place. And today we're going to get into, it's a documentary. And then we're going to meet people from the Hare Krishna movement and they're going to tell us what it's all about. So I think I'm not sure if it's Hari Shauri Prabhu or somebody they're interviewing. So what is this? Tell us about Prabhupada and all that. And he says, Prabhupada built a home where the whole world can live. He said, Prabhupada built a home where the whole world can live. And our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, they are asking him, and in that ISKCON world, they say, Jayapataka Swami is an American and speaks fluent Bengali. He's saying, and speaks fluent Bengali. And then they zoom in on a clipping of Guru Maharaj on the I think it's a Rath Yatra festival, and Guru Maharaj is saying that, like in ISKCON, we have so many devotees from different countries, and it says, it's the United Nations of the spiritual world. He shouts and then bang, 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 everybody, that's how it's edited. So Prabhupada said, ISKCON is a home, he built a home where the whole world can live. So I really strongly feel that wherever we are in this Jagannath Seshapuram community, it's really my, desire, or I would love to have a community where actually people are happy. The success of a community is not in projects, it's not in numbers, it's not in book scores. It's in happiness quotient of the devotees. Then everything else will follow. So we strive for that. And how to strive for that? Because then immediately when you think, I want to make this community a better place, and then you see 108 problems, not 107, 108 problems will come in front of you, some management and non-management and blah, blah, blah. Don't feel overwhelmed. Correct? It starts with, to make some positive change, it starts with me, starts with you. So everybody takes responsibility that I'm going to make this community, how do I make this community a happier community? Okay. And then you'll find that the whole community suddenly becomes vibrant. And which is that verse in the Upadeshamrita, Dadati? Yeah. So, sharing your heart, inviting people for prasadam, sharing prasadam, avoiding criticism, having a lot of appreciation, serving devotees with a happy heart, with good quality of feelings. It's going to be a happy community. Forget a happy community, there'll be a happier you and a happier me. So working on ourselves, that's going to be, the happiness quotient is going to be really, it's going to be really, really high. Parikshit Maharaj was praying for three things. He was praying for association of devotees. Then he was praying always that he should never forget the Lord. And one third thing he prayed for, he said that he should be friendly with all living entities. Sorry? Friendly with all living entities. So that in the heart, friendly with all living entities. That means including all devotees also. Your heart is cleared of negative vibes, like they say. Your heart is completely clear of that. That's when, and then you serve devotees, magic is going to happen in your lives, in everyone's lives. So I'll end here. Thank you very much. Anybody has a question I can try to answer? Sorry? Mind your own business. Yeah, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you so much for the class. You talked about unorthodox methods and orthodox methods.
Yeah.
And somehow we have to bridge that also as per the audience. So I really like that point, Prabhu, because sometimes we also don't want to become fanatic and give those examples which the audience may not be able to understand. So, but we should not also go in a...
No dilution.
Yes. So...
No dilution, palatable doses. So we don't give them the full overdose. Like you go tell a businessman who's doing his business, and Mr. Ambani's house, you go and say, you're going to die. You don't even know when you're going to die. You're going to leave all these millions behind. So that may not be the best approach. Sometimes it could be the best approach also. We don't know. So one has that we have to pray to Krishna that we touch people's hearts. Like Prabhupada's prayer on the Jaladuta was like, let me speak words which will, what's the exact prayer, you remember, Prabhu? Like, let me speak that, I'm able to touch their hearts in some way. Convince them. Yeah. So some people may not be ready for, certain amount of renunciation. There are different phases of life. There are different ashramas. Yeah, another thing I wanted to mention is that we should be extremely empathetic. We don't know what devotees are going through. Yeah, one of my practical tips which I want to share is that we need to drop our judgmental ways. Sometimes we're always judging. This guy doesn't come, that guy comes, this guy doesn't do that. So we are comparing, we are judging. We don't know their situations. We don't know what they are going through in their lives. A brahmachari for sure doesn't know what's going on in a grihastha's life. I wanted to speak on the pitfalls of being a grihastha one of these days, and it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I was telling my wife, grihastha, what is a grihastha's life? Maybe he's getting 100 calls a day, then he's got his EMIs to pay, and he's got school fees, and the children are nagging him. In the middle of it all, he gets a call, your mother-in-law is coming and staying with you for 3 months, and then his mom is upset. Grihastha, typical grihastha. He's got a lot of things to deal with. In amidst all this, his boss is telling him, boss, you're really slackening up. You're not showing up. Why are you late today? There's a thing that you never get the right answer. You get a right answer only on the third or fourth why. So why did you come late today? I missed the bus. Why you missed the bus? I had to go to the hospital. Why you had to go to the hospital? My mother-in-law's is hospital. So on the third why, you will begin to understand why somebody has come late. Okay. So we don't know people, and all devotees are dealing with something. Brahmachari is dealing with his own problems. Okay. Correct. He's young and all, and he's wondering, man, like, how can I be lust-free? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what brahmacharis are thinking of. In our days, we didn't think of that. I don't know what brahmacharis are facing in their lives. Or maybe they're always thinking career or full-time. Full-time or career. Marriage, no marriage. So he's got his own set of problems. Grihastha in Kali Yuga, I'm noticing this. The way people are working, oh my God. People come home by 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10. They're leading a crazy life. Hard work. And what happens after that hard work? I remember I used to work hard, and then your brain is like fatigued, tired. You come and collapse on the sofa. Oof, like that. Right. then you just collapse in front of the sofa. Now it's very interesting that when you're actually very tired, your willpower comes down. Have you noticed that anytime? If you're exhausted, then your willpower actually comes down. Then what I should do? For relaxation, whatever is there, I'll eat all the wrong things, which I should not eat. Fried stuff, this, that, whatever comes just goes in the mouth. And then switch on the TV. I'll watch it for 5 minutes. I need to relax my mind. Bang, switch on the TV. It's not that come and relax and hear some kirtan. So work styles, devotees especially, they need to figure out their work styles. They need to have the whole world is talking about work-life balance. They need to figure out people are working 10, 12 hours. Then in the morning you can't get up. There's no quality of chanting. There's no time for reading. You collapse and just pass out and look forward to another day of again the same thing. Repeat. So lifestyle review. Devotees need to do that lifestyle review. And somebody is in a extremely... Actually, our Shastras are, very beautiful, covers everything. I'm also realizing only over a long period of time, I'm beginning to realize, wow, there's so much wisdom here. Like Upadesh Amrita says, don't work too much, don't work too hard, correct? So you need to work just adequately. It's not that you don't work, you become negligent, because sometimes there's the other flip side, people become negligent, irresponsible. No. Work very nicely. But I know karmis who are extremely... There's one guy, he switches off his phone at this time, bang, that's it. I had a friend, 9 o'clock, he says, you don't get me. His boss also calls him, his phone is switched off. 9 p.m. he used to go to sleep. Yeah, so a couple of things which I forgot to mention. So I saw this title of a book. So this is our antidote for, getting proud. Stay humble, stay foolish. It's some book, I've never read the book, but the title is Stay Humble, Stay Foolish. So we are always fools in front of our spiritual master. We are always learning something from everybody. Stay humble. One more thing I want to share, because Vrajakrishna Prabhu said speak about hospitality. So I think serving prasadam should be done with, it's an opportunity to serve devotees, and visitors are also devotees. Prasadam, that should be done with the utmost humility, affection, respect, and very sweetly. So sometimes I've been wanting to say this to the prasadam service team, because we get heavy, say, come on, move, it's too crowded and all that, So you should treat the guests, they're Lord Jagannath's guests. Nobody messes with Lord Jagannath's guests. If we can't figure that out, at least think they are guests at your daughter's or your son's wedding. How will you treat them? So you treat them very nicely. When any Maharaj is coming, please treat them very nicely. Make some nice arrangements. Y'all are making lovely arrangements in 504. So next time we should add, what water the Maharaj drinks, maybe Himalayan water. They're all keeping, I think, in 504. Keep a bouquet of flowers. We should add that next time. When somebody's coming, okay, so somebody should do that. A bouquet, you keep a nice flower bouquet, clean up the room, keep maybe a basket of fruit. Make it very appealing and nice. In one of the programs at Jagannath Puri, my Guru Maharaj said something. He said, there are airlines which get a hospitality award. There are hotels, 5-star hotels which get a hospitality award. And he expressed this. He said, ISKCON should get an hospitality award. So how far are we from that? Mataji, how far are we? Very far, isn't it? So hospitality award, how we can get it? It starts with me. Okay. So we should actually aspire. People should say, boss, you go to ISKCON, they treat you so nicely. They're actually special people. They're coming. And if you treat them nicely, they're going to take to the philosophy. People don't, there was a saying once, people don't leave companies. They leave people. Somebody fries them out. So people don't leave ISKCON because of our philosophy. If sometimes somebody leaves, it's because of us. So we shouldn't be people to drive people away. We should be people to attract people. And we lead our lives like this, we are going to be blissful. The biggest payoff is for us. our lives are going to be very beautiful and peaceful and blissful, So thank you very much for your patience and seeking everyone's blessings to implement what I'm speaking about. It shouldn't just be cheap. Talk is cheap. Okay, any other question? Yeah.
But then sometimes we see that it's not that all the qualities which we have liking is in one person only.
Correct.
So how we have to
be
satisfied?
You have to, this is very important to recognize that everyone is different. In the Bhagavatam, there's a verse where it's very important to know this. In the Bhagavatam, there's a verse that even in the liberated condition, every soul thinks differently. Prabhupada says that every soul thinks differently. So you have to marvel at the difference also. Because only like-minded, similar thoughts is not going to work. Somebody is very different, we should learn to appreciate that difference. I'm not talking about like obnoxious, bad behavior type of thing. But somebody will think very differently, extremely differently. You have to marvel at the Lord's creation, that how there are so many souls and everyone is different. Everyone's signature is different. Everyone's face is different. Everyone's soul is different. We are not impersonalists. Everything is not one. Everyone is different. Everyone's got their likes, dislikes. Sometimes in our initial training, there is a suppression of individuality. That's another topic altogether which I want to speak about. It happens in our movement because there's a sense of homogeneousness. Everybody is the same. They're not the same. So you have to recognize everybody's taste is different. You may like khichdi, I may like dosa, So everybody's minds are completely different. And you have to just engage them in Krishna's service. So you have to marvel and appreciate the difference. Sometimes that difference is going to help you. You learn something new. So like-minded is, and you have to be careful of like-minded also. Sometimes like-minded all have the same grouse, the same complaint. Okay? So we shouldn't get involved with one complaint group which has the same set of problems, That kind of like-minded we should avoid. But let me correct that a little bit, okay? Instead of saying like-minded, I'm saying hang out where you are Krishna consciousness, where you feel more inspired. Hang out. I'm using the word hang out, sorry. Take association from devotees who make you feel inspired. And there'll always be, our movement is full of them. And you be the inspiration. Anything else?
Just want to inform devotees also, before we have this 504, many of the guest devotees used to come and they used to stay in Prabhuji's house. And Mataji is also very extremely happy to serve them. So when I heard this topic from you, I was very happy to hear. You want to share any experience, many sannyasis, many devotees, Prabhupada disciples had come?
So sannyasis, there are some very nice experiences. Okay, first of all, I attribute my staying in ISKCON for surviving in ISKCON. We got initiated in 1994, January, my wife and me. So that's now 31 years. Both my wife and me attribute that we managed to stay in ISKCON for good or for bad, whatever we've done, I don't know how much of service we've done so far. But we attribute this the only cause of this, I would say, is the association of devotees and mercy of Vaishnavas. Otherwise, I don't know if we could have survived for 31 years. It's only association and mercy and blessings. And with different Maharajas, we've had wonderful experiences. So there was one time, because I've been a very freaked out guy, okay? Not a very serious guy. And now I'm beginning to see the glimpse of seriousness as the age increases. Just a glimpse of it is there. But a very fun-loving guy. So one day I was in Mayapur once, and they told me, they broke the news to me. One devotee came and he started laughing first. Achintya Chaitanya, you know him, no? He's laughing in my face. I said, hey, what happened? Why are you laughing? He said, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj wants to come and stay in your house. Then for a minute, my mouth was like open. I said, who? He said, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj wants to stay in your house. I said, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, my house? What's the connection? I got a lot of regard for Maharaj. I mean, I really love him. But, I mean, he's an austere person. I said, oh my God, Maharaj first he will say, where's the Mangal Aarti? Okay, and we'll be spaced out and sleeping. I said, Bhakti Maharaj is coming to my house. Like, you know. And then I told my wife, guess who's coming and staying in our house? She said, who? I said, Bhakti Kas Maharaj. She also was shocked, like this. And then we met Maharaj, Hare Krishna Maharaj. So Maharaj said, yeah, I'm coming and staying in your house. You told me many times. I was thinking, when did I tell Maharaj to come and stay in my house? I never told Maharaj. I told him to come for just visit my house. He said, you told me many times, so I'm coming and staying in your house. So the days looked like that. Okay. No joy and nothing. Yeah, okay, Maharaj. And I thought, boss, now I'm going to get whacking from Maharaj every day. But it was a very sweet experience. He stayed for almost 15 days. So morning we used to go shopping for him, get bananas, and he was you should ask my wife, he was very sweet, compassionate. It was the month of Kartik. Then we used to do Damodar Aarti with him. And then he'll call the servants also. Please join in the Aarti. You know, who is around, he'll call them. So it was a very sweet experience. Then Bhakti Raghav Maharaj came once. Bhakti Raghav Maharaj, so we cleaned up the room for him. We cleaned it up really nicely. So we thought we had cleaned it up really nicely. So Maharaj, this is your room. I said, yeah, okay. Then we came after half an hour. Maharaj even started cleaning this, dusting that, doing, arranging things. So our level of cleanliness was Tamogund level. We thought, it's clean enough. Like we brushed some dust here, clean, arrange something. Maharaj spruced it up. They say a Brahmana leaves a place cleaner than when he visits it. So Maharaj cleaned up the whole room in half an hour, and I was saying, wow, ye Maharaj hai bhai. Okay, so we had some nice experience, a lot of Maharajas. Then Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj stayed with us, and he's full of love and compassion and mercy. That was another experience again, different flavor. So then, who else was there? But Kavichandra Maharaj stayed with us. Kavichandra Maharaj was another delightful experience. Very simple Maharaj, and the easiest to host Maharaj, Kavichandra Maharaj. I don't know how many of you all know, from some 25 years he's never eaten. 25, maybe more than that, 30 years he doesn't eat. He drinks only juice. So he'll get up in the morning, he'll have one glass of tender coconut. After 2-3 hours, he'll have one grape juice. So he lives on juices. So very easy to take care of. Serve Maharaj, very nice, very easy. And very sweet Maharaj again. So he came, first thing he entered the house, he said, don't force me to eat. Because my mother had this habit of always forcing people, you should eat this, you should eat that. And one more Prabhupada disciples who joke with my mother. He says, you put your head into your house and your mother wants to put something in the mouth. He says, put your head into the doorway of your house, your mother wants to put something. She was very enthusiastic about feeding everybody, So, in fact, with Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj, then my mother used to make cutlets for him. Because he won't have dinner. Then she'll say, okay, you'll have cutlet. Okay, I'll have cutlet. And then she used to make cutlet for him. Then after many days, she'll say, where's that Maharaj? I said, which Maharaj? Cutlet Maharaj, she'll ask, Because she couldn't remember his name. So Kavichandra Maharaj, then we used to go for walks with Maharaj. Again, Maharaj has got innovative thoughts. Oh my God. His creative thinking for preaching was another level. He's a very simple person. Only juices he'll drink the whole day, and then he used to go for a walk. And then he'll say, see that hoarding there? He's looking at places. So he sees that hoarding there. Why we can't have Bhagavad Gita as it is on that hoarding? Now the Muslims are doing that. They have a Quran, read Quran on hoardings. So Maharaj 20 years back was saying, why we can't have this there? And his ideas were extremely innovative. There are many more. I'm not able to recollect the Maharajas who have visited everybody. But for me, I think the association of all these senior Vaishnavas has been the biggest blessing that we are around still. And it's many times I come and pray to the deities, like, I want to serve will there be some Maharaj coming? So yeah, a couple of weeks back I was just praying because my favorite thing is to serve some prasadam to a sannyasi. I would like to serve others also, but so then I was praying a few weeks back, is there somebody coming? And then Bhakti, Kamal Lochan Prabhu, who's become a Maharaj, he got a long name, I don't remember the name. Huh? Yeah, Maharaj. So grab the opportunity, do service, stay humble, stay foolish, stay appreciative, look at your glass half full, look at the positives, and have a great life. See, I love him. He's really dancing with great joy and happiness. Correct? Huh? So morning I'm observing, I'm like, oh, this guy is like really, he's having a blast of a time, you know. Correct? He's got the bhakta boost. So we got to, another tactic, another mental hack I had. See, we become judgmental. When you see a devotee, first we'll think, hey, this guy is like this only, or he's like that only. So a few days back I was thinking, and I said, when I come to temple, when I see anybody, I should feel I'm coming for the first time. Supposing I come for the first time, there's no, I'm not judging anybody here. I'm seeing for the first time, wow, all these people are chanting so nicely. So blank it out. Blank out the past. You know, there's one Hindi song, famous Hindi song, it's before your time, much before your time. Yesterday a song where this guy is singing, Chalo ek baar fir se. I know you heard it, none of you. Huh? Ajnabi ban jaye hum dono. Only. So it's a very old song. Like, let's become Chalo ek baar fir se ajnabi ban jaye hum dono. So it's beautiful because you're cutting out the past, whatever past you may have had with that devotee. You're meeting him for the first time. Now you walked into the temple. It's your day one in the Hare Krishna movement. So that's a nice mind hack. So you don't commit offenses. So you're walking in. So there's no past that, yesterday he behaved like this with me. Day before he behaved like that with me. Otherwise the whole time. And the mind loves gravity. Gravity is working on us. It's easy to go down and complain, criticize. It's much easy. To stay on top, it needs some effort. Consciousness, to go downwards is extremely simple. Very easy. You can just let it go. Or you have to put some conscious effort and stay on top. So I walked in saying, I'm seeing everyone for the first time. Wow, all lovely faces. Everybody is chanting Hare Krishna so nicely. My God, I should chant like them. So that was one nice thing I thought of. Okay, anybody else? I'm loving this interaction. Some input. Bhaktivinoda Prabhu, you please give some input. Your knowledge. Yeah, this is another, wow. I forgot to mention this. From Bhaktivinoda Prabhu, I've learned one thing. You'll never get him to criticize any devotee. You'll never hear from him at all. If he disagrees with something, he may just put a question and that's it. But he'll never criticize anybody. So I've seen some. So don't get drawn into it. Sometimes what happens in friendship, this creeps in. Very slowly, this one subtle thing, it will creep in. One person will say, yeah, everything is all right, but blah, 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 blah. In a very small way it will come. Okay, small. There's no warning sign. Okay. So, yeah, but he's very nice, but something will come. Then the discussion goes on. Then it gets elaborated upon. And there are chances our minds are attracted to dirt. Yeah, is it? Then what happened? So the gossip element, sometimes we love it. This is, wow, it's really, that guy is looking at that guy's wife. Really? Oh, then what happened? So our mind gets attracted to dirt. So we have to be very, very careful and cautious when some subtle aparads are creeping in. If you see, the 10 offenses are not at the time of chanting at all. All 10, other than being attentive, which is an add-on in the 10th offense, but all the 10 offenses are outside of those 2 hours of chanting. It's all during the day, how you live your life. So your heart shouldn't if you have a grudge against your boss in your office, you have to clean that up also. Because then your mind is free. So your mind is free for love of God. But you're keeping so many things there. Relationships. So handling relationships is the biggest and only challenge. And if you're able to surmount that with some simple things and simple mindsets, attitude, we are through. You were saying something? Somebody want to add? You were saying something, Prabhu? Yeah, Prabhu? You want to say something? Yeah. Bhaktivinoda Prabhu, please add something. I've noticed so many, all the senior Vaishnavas, they steer clear of criticism. Sarvabhauma Prabhu, you will never hear him say anything about anybody. He's silent. No, he doesn't get excited if somebody's like, Prabhu, but this one is doing that, that one is doing that. then maybe something he'll say like that. But they don't get agitated and, say certain things. Yeah, Prabhu.
Guruji, like how to do service in the way that we want to do it eternally.
Eternally, right?
Like service. I was hearing one devotee like in one book of Prabhupada that he wants to roll chapatis and serve chapatis eternally, like that in Janmashtami he was telling one time. So how to get that mood?
So you want to do something eternally, is it? You like something?
No, like to get some mood like that. Like let us do this service.
Like
eternally.
this is my mission.
No, like to get some joy. Like we are getting so much happiness from that service that we want to do it eternally. Like that.
So how do we get there, is it?
Yeah.
See, here there is a combination of who you are as a person, your nature, and your authority, your spiritual master, what he thinks you should do. So this story again, credit goes to Anant Vallabha Prabhu. So there was one devotee who came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, what should I do? And Prabhupada said, no, what do you want to do? Prabhupada kept insisting, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And then finally he said, I want to make mridanga which doesn't break. And that was the birth of the fiber mridanga. Okay? In ISKCON, we have the fiber mridanga which doesn't break. So I personally feel like some people give a blanket rule that you just follow the authority. Correct? Please follow your authority, whatever the service they give you. But having said that, though that's a nice mood for the practicing devotee to have, I feel authority has a responsibility towards discovering and recognizing that devotee's talent and fanning that, so where he feels fulfilled also. So I think that's a responsibility of authority, of management. They need to really see how somebody wants to be engaged, and they should be very open-minded to say, how would you like to be engaged? I don't expect that. I wouldn't want people just to be humble and said, you were told to do this and you do it. There's this old poem, in English, which says, ours not to reason why, ours but to do and die. I don't know if you all have read that, way back. So the old system in ISKCON was like that. The president says, excuse me, Prabhu, come here. Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, tomorrow you're getting married to this Mataji. Yes, Prabhu. Sorry. So that's not the right thing. In the guise of teaching humility and following authority, one doesn't kill the individuality of every soul and just takes decisions for them. So authority and management have to really understand this. The spiritual master is at a much higher level. The spiritual master knows what you are thinking in your heart. And even there, Prabhupada says this, if one disagrees with the spiritual master, he is a fool. He says that. But I'm saying, but you can always present to the spiritual master, like Guru Maharaj, I'm thinking like this, what do you think? But then you do whatever he says, finally. So I wouldn't extend that level of following orders to everyone around you. It may not be the right thing, because somebody may not understand you completely. Your immediate temple authority may not understand you as well as your Guru knows you. Okay, so you need to have a discussion. You need to have a friendly discussion, And the devotee needs to have a friendly, open discussion, and the management has to be very open enough to see where that person's joy and fulfillment lies. So in this regard, Anant Vallabha and me had an argument many years back. I remember Anant Vallabha, myself, and I think Jyoteshwar Prabhu. So I was talking about inherent nature of every living entity is different, And I said you should be engaged according to your nature. So they were arguing and saying, no, but eventually it has to change or whatever. But now Anant Vallabha Prabhu, after many years, and he studied astrology and he sees charts, and he says these people are meant for certain things. In management, they say you can't put a square peg in a round hole, something like that. So this recognition, and ISKCON as a movement is evolving, and the youth are extremely intelligent today. They are extremely, I think, our greatest asset is the youth. They are innovative, don't curb their individuality, engage it. And we need to figure out. And that may change also. Our own nature sometimes changes over time. Like when I was a kid, or everybody's a kid, everyone wants to be a pilot. Correct? What do you want to be? In our time, at least that was it. What do you want to be? Pilot. That was the standard. But then over time, even when we grow, like my careers have gone through 1, 2, 3, some different changes, 4 changes. Because your nature is also, you're evolving as a person. So you need to have good, friendly discussion and find your happiness in the Hare Krishna movement. You may have to maneuver, not manipulate, you may have to maneuver, approach devotees, Prabhu, I'd like to really do this, how do I do this, how do I do that? And Krishna will make the arrangement. Then Krishna will make the arrangement. Somebody wants to cook, Krishna will make the arrangement. Somebody wants to preach, Krishna will make the arrangement. So what's dear to your heart? Like you want to cook for Krishna, you want to sing for Krishna, you want to play an instrument for Krishna. The Lord knows. Prabhupada mentions this actually, that everyone has a special talent and we use in Krishna's service. Suppression of expression, something which is deep and dear to us is absolutely the worst thing any management can do to their congregation or to their devotees. Should allow them to bloom. There should be a space of freedom. Not do nothing crazy, but to do, what you love to do in the service of Krishna, where you feel fully, you're feeling fulfilled. Your nature and your talent also is being used. Shout out what you love to do. See, sometimes our upbringing in the movement also is, there's such a high level of expectancy from everybody. A certain expectancy of behavior, renunciation. And we are not there yet. So then we are leading very, frozen and unlively lives. Correct? Like life energy is sapped because you're trying to be somebody else who you're not. So I've noticed that. There's a lot of suppression. So you need to discuss what will make you bloom and flower. See, we have a conditioning before we come to ISKCON, and after coming to ISKCON, depending on which yatra we join, we have an internal conditioning there also. Okay, so there's again one conditioning, and ashram also conditioning is different. Brahmachari ashram, little conditioning is heavier. Grihasthas, you can't get them to surrender because they already surrendered to wife. Okay, most of the time. Like in lighter vein, you're recording this. When the Ritvik thing broke out, so Madhu Pandit called all the brahmacharis and blah, 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 blah. He spoke to everybody. Almost like 98% success rate. Everybody got consumed with Ritvik. Then he thought congregation is cakewalk. Congregation full such brahmacharis with high level of sadhana. He's conquered 98 or 99%. What are grihasthas? They are all fallen guys. Then he called the congregation and blah, 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 blah. He gave the Ritvik philosophy. He thought this is a full cakewalk. I was his big follower, a very big follower. I was an ardent fan, devotee, Das and Udas, all that, So then I went the next day to again clarify with him. He speak with Chanchalupati. Then I went and met him also. So congregation, he tried with congregation and 99% failure rate. 99% failure rate. Because nobody bought it. Because they go back home and say, the president is saying, the wife will say, are you crazy? You're going to listen to the president? Chodo president ko, guru ko dekho. So 99% failure rate he had. So at least my sense is that management should have a certain amount of, give good freedom and for the congregation to express themselves and do what they love to do. That's another part of building a happy community. Okay, anybody else? Mataji, anybody? You want to say something, Mataji? Okay, so thank you very much. We meet again. So actually, the whole topic can be developed. I just prepared yesterday for some 12 minutes. I was trying to prepare some points, and then something came on its own. But this can be actually developed nicely into maybe somebody else should work on this. 2-3 of y'all should work on this. Who will take it up? Vaishnav Seva to do an entire presentation, PowerPoint. Yeah, You should not only hear from me. I want to hear from you. Okay, who's going to do this? We'll have one more session, which is a little more Shastra and everything. Yeah. So who's going to do that? Madhusudan, 2. You have one? Yeah. So then let's let's do one more session with you all presenting it. Huh? Can do that? Huh? And I'll come and I'll feel really small. I said, oh my God, what did I do last week? No, it's okay. Jokes apart. I'm happy to hear from you all then. We'll do the same thing. You all present the PPT which you all have. Okay? When you fix time with Vraja Prabhu and let's do that. Bhaktivinoda Prabhu, please, I want you to say a few words. Prabhu is 50 years in ISKCON. Wow. Man. Okay, 50 years. Yeah, feel free to clap. So in 50 years, he's got a storehouse of experience and how to navigate through the devotee crowd and still stay happy. Prabhu, please, you want to give a mic there?
Yes. It was a very nice class, very enjoyable. You spoke from your heart. A lot of things you also have realized and you shared with us. That was very nice. And I take it quite seriously, this idea of Vaishnava Seva. Actually, they are doing Vaishnava Seva here. It is not as if it is not being done.
Yeah.
But it is not made official. People call on the phone and invite people to come and do this service, that service. That's going on.
Yeah.
A lot of Vaishnava Seva is going on, and there's no doubt about that. But we may give it a little formal way of doing things also. But when sannyasis come, they take good care of them.
Yes. I realize that. I'm sorry, I didn't acknowledge it adequately.
So there's a lot of service going on here. There's no doubt about that. So people are happy also, but we are not able to handle all of them. We are able to handle maybe one portion of who they come here. Maybe we can have some training for that.
Just come again, Prabhu. You are training for?
We are not able to handle many of the people.
Yeah.
We are able to handle some part of the people who are coming here. Maybe we can expand on that.
Yeah.
That's possible, we can do that. For that, we need people who are available to be in the temple and to meet with them and talk to them. And we do that during the weekend,
Yeah.
but a lot of people come during the days also.
Yeah, that we're just arranging now somebody to, we made a list last week. We've started with the list. So I think by tomorrow we should have a list of at least 25 devotees who want to come and do some preaching to visitors when they come.
Actually, people who come on weekdays,
Yeah.
they are visitors from other cities. They come for business or they come for something else, and they Google and ask where is the nearest temple. For most people, the nearest temple is Seshadripuram. So like that, many people come to Seshadripuram. I asked them, how did you come here? He said, we Googled and we found out this is the nearest temple. So people tell us that they come here because they happen to be nearby here and all. So a lot of people come during the weekdays, just around darshan time also they come, because they have to go to office and all, business and all. So they come around darshan time also. So they are able to spare about 20 minutes. So I'm able to spend some time with them if they happen to come, and if I see them, I welcome them and I do that. So this is actually a very good thing that one should cultivate. When you have spare time also, you don't have to necessarily go out to the railway station. You can preach people who come here also. So they feel very happy about that. It's a good idea to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Okay, thank you everybody. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Before going for Prashad, let us thank Madhusudan Hari Prabhu. So when I called Prabhuji, can you please take this? Prabhuji, just like Prabhuji told about Bhakta Push, Prabhuji immediately told, yes, let's do it. So then I came to know, then I told about when is the schedule, what time, etc. Prabhuji was very eager. So the same enthusiasm. So thank you, Prabhuji. So let us chant once Hare Krishna Mahamantra to thank Prabhuji, so that all, and request Prabhuji to always guide us and come and give these sessions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji. Let's all